Okay, so I was trying to see if I had enough space on my phone to record, but I got plenty. Okay, this is bothering me. Normally, the numbers that tell me how long I'm recording are right here. Now they're right here. So that's weird. That's bothering me. Yeah, so I wanted to do a quick review of Smallville Season 1. The episodes aren't... There are a few good ones. There are a few great ones. Most of them are just kind of meh, though, to be honest with you. And there's no big bad for the season. Now, that's kind of a structure that was pioneered by the Arrowverse, I guess. But I was pretty sure that structure existed in Smallville back when I first watched it. But if anything, the big bad is a tornado. So I don't know what's up with that. And there aren't any interesting new characters that get introduced at any point that have any sort of substance to them. You stick with the core characters, which are the best characters the show has. But with shows like The Flash, we see they eventually get stuff like Ralph Dibny, you know. In season 2, Cisco sort of becomes a better character. He's always been a really good character ever since the first episode. But Cisco vibe, he gets better towards season 2. And there's a lot of character development in the first episode or the first season, but then you have characters like Chloe, who start acting weird like towards the end of the season. Suddenly she has some sort of infatuation with Clark, and Pete Ross has the situation, like his character, he's cool. He's like Cisco kind of. They're not a similar character per se, but he's like Cisco in the way that you see he gets better and better and better as he goes. He starts out as the funny guy. Unfortunately, the funny guy sticks around way too long, and his character doesn't ever really shine through until season 2. There's some interesting characters that show up as meteor freaks. They call them that at some point. I don't know if they call them that right off the bat, because I haven't heard that term but once, and it was to refer to Hamilton. And Hamilton, he died in season 2, so we're not in that part yet. But there's this guy with the jitters, and he blames Lex Luthor. And so you see that Clark and Lex's relationship is being strained quite a bit. But what I like about this universe is we see their friendship. We see what started it. We see many possibilities for how it's going to end. It never does during the season, obviously. But, we see Clark's relationship with Lana getting, I don't know what was going on. We see Clark and Lana's relationship getting, awkward at times. Then Whitney goes to the Marine Corps. The payoff for that is in season 2, and it's really, really good payoff. Really emotional stuff. I haven't made it there this time. But the stuff with Ryan in season 1 is pretty good. But nothing really sticks out to me as amazing. The show is good through and through. Of course, you have a few episodes that there aren't any bad episodes this season, really. But it's kind of like The Flash season 4. It's a pretty bland season, And of course, I like season 4. I have it right. I have it right here. So, pretty good season. And I would put Smallville season 1 and Flash season 4 on the same level. That and the special effects are in Smallville are better than what we have in the Arrowverse generally. Now I realize some of it not so much, and the Arrowverse tries to be way more ambitious. But the amount of times that an obviously CGI Flash was shown throughout the Flash is just annoying. And there's so many shots, like for instance, epic DC superhero crossover event with Arrow, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. Also, I'm pretty sure this only has. BRB. Yeah, so as I was saying, this only has hour 3 of the crossover. So you maybe shouldn't have led with the crossover event and the special features. Dude, that's so annoying. You have to pop in a bunch of different discs to get to the. Yeah, generally I buy the digital versions of all this stuff. Don't get me wrong, I like having this, and this has deleted scenes. Buying this is worth it for me, but if I had all the right seasons and I knew where everything was, Crisis on Earth X, I'd have to pop in like 4 different discs just for 4 different episodes. That would be so annoying. So yeah, but anyways, yeah, I put Smallville season 1 on the same level as Flash season 4. It's not bad. Actually, I think Smallville season 1 is maybe a little bit better. Not just the special effects. The special effects, honestly, I don't. They're not better. I guess they're just more tolerable. But comparing some of the special effects in Smallville versus The Flash is like comparing Dragon Ball Z versus Dragon Ball Super. The older version just looks better for some reason. You have Geekdom 101 being like, okay, well, this comparison, actually, this comparison is to a Dragon Ball Z movie that came out in 1991. So obviously it's going to look better than what we had in Super. And like, okay, but no, it's not. I mean, Dragon Ball Z, the show looks about as good as the movie, honestly, in my opinion, and even the show because I've watched it. It looks way better than Super. I've made 2 videos on this channel criticizing the way Super looks, and then I've made like, and then I've noticed these things. Watch the first 5 episodes. All of those look terrible. Now, yes, it's only the first 5 episodes, but come on, man. I know China or Japan has a different work ethics, and they rush people and stuff. I'm just like, let's state facts, man. And by the way, when I was doing this, I was just trying to be funny. No offense at Geekdom 101. Awesome guy, subscribed. I like a lot of his videos. I'm just trying to be funny here, you know. Actually, but yeah, you know, point of the story. Flash doesn't look as good as Smallville. Costume design is way better. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the season 4 suit. I don't like the season 4 suit. Everyone loves the season 4 suit. I don't know what the deal is. I don't like the season 4 suit that much in the Flash. But it's better than anything that Smallville produced ever. It's hard to say with Superman because Tom Welling didn't want to wear the suit. But Green Arrow, you know, Green Arrow. But so anyways, you know, during Crisis on Infinite Earths, it would have been awesome if we had a mirror match. Justin Hartley Green Arrow versus Stephen Amell Green Arrow. I was talking to Dad about that. It was like, the rumor was that he was going to be there and they would fight and whatever. And my dad was like, yeah, that would be cool, but Smallville is, they had a different version of the Green Arrow. And I was like, yeah, the Smallville one is like the comic book one. He's like Spider-Man's personality, basically. quips, references, pop culture references, quips, all that sort of stuff. And then my dad's like, yeah, and the one on Arrow was like Batman, and I was like, yeah. But yeah, so I keep getting distracted. I need to talk about what we're talking about. Smallville special effects are surprisingly good for the time, and some of them still hold up. Like when Clark shoots himself in the hand. Um, well, that's not season one, so let's find a season one example. Um, well, aside from the physics, when they did the silhouette thing, when that guy in the episode Reaper, when he touches people, he disintegrates them. Real original. By the way, Smallville season one had like 3 ice villains, and none of them were based on the comics. There was one in the episode Cool. Wait, did I lose all my marbles? Because I can't remember what the other ones are. And maybe they didn't even exist. Who knew? There are a few interesting things that they repeat, but none of them are based on the comics. I feel like there was more than just Cool. Maybe I just lost all my damn marbles. But yeah, so all of this is there's just a lot of things that they could have pulled from the comics, but they didn't. But I'm glad they didn't just pull unnecessary facets from the comics, because it seemed to me that they wanted to do their own unique thing with these different types of characters. And so just imagine if Cool was replaced with Killer Frost or something like that. They changed, like, they had the name Killer Frost, but they did this. So it's a good thing they didn't do that, because Lois and Clark actually did that. There's this guy named Bob, and he goes by Deathstroke, and the people over there must have been like, yo, Deathstroke? That sounds metal AF. Let's just, because I'm trying not to swear so much. Especially since when I made that DC 5G video, I was not supposed to do that. But they must have been like, man, Deathstroke metal AF. Let's give him magnetism. No healing factor, no nothing. He just the living magnet. Honestly, I don't know what Deathstroke has to do with that. Deathstroke sounds intimidating. He kills everything with one stroke of his sword. No? Sounds intimidating. But you gave him magnet powers. And you named him Bob. Nothing wrong with Bob, but it's just not intimidating. Watch as some motorcycle guy comes up and just like, what'd you say? And then just like, my name's Bob. And am I not intimidating you? Anyways, so yeah, the relationships with, it would be nice to know more about the relationships, because the only one we are introduced to at the same time that the relationships are made is Lex and Clark, and their relationship is great. Some of the best stuff in the show, but the oh. But like Pete and Clark and Lana and Clark and stuff, they show us those relationships, or they show us that those relationships have already existed at some point. And that's fine, but having more context to some of the relationships, since they don't really flesh them out that well, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, seeing those relationships and how they're tested is awesome, it's just it'd be like watching the Cell Saga as like the first part of like the first exposure to Dragon Ball that you've ever had is the Cell Saga. You're like, that's cool, but then you don't understand, like, because you don't necessarily need to watch that other stuff to understand the plot. The plot is presented to you as any other, I guess. But wouldn't you like to know how Goku knows Vegeta? Wouldn't you like to know why Vegeta is kind of an asshole? It's kind of like that. But anyways, just for the record, my first exposure is the Buu Saga, but whatever. I believe that's like the very last saga, actually. So, but ow, my hips just popped out of place. So, they also have like stuff with like Lex and Jonathan's relationship is not really that great. So, but honestly, I think these are the best versions of the Kints that we've seen. Because in the DCEU, like I don't remember seeing the Kints at all in the Christopher Reeve movies. I could be wrong, and I probably am, because I haven't watched those in a while. But I don't remember seeing them at all. And then in the DCEU, you have Jonathan Kent, who's just like, no, and then he jumps into a tornado. And then in Man of Steel, you have Martha, who has who's barely any development whatsoever. And then in Batman v Superman, Martha is a plot device. And a pretty memeable one at that. So, but in Smallville, they're actual characters with actual logic, and Jonathan doesn't just run up into a tornado. You see that. Whoa, damn! I just remembered. He actually tried to run into a tornado, though, or he actually almost did, because that one dude, the reporter dude, Roger Nixon, Nixon Rogers, something like that. Roger Nixon, he was like, yo, I'm going to tell the world about Clark. The world has the right to know. And then Jonathan's like, I'm going to throw you into a tornado. And they almost get sucked up by a tornado. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I've rambled on long enough. I give this season an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I guess that is higher than this. I give this a 7. Because, I mean, you have, no, you know what? Forget about it. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Later, guys.